Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hey guys, how are we going? I've just noticed something.
I'm the most
All the
handsome
boys
boy.
at the moment, isn't it? Where's the men? Where's the women? I mean,
Only
I used to
boys.
go, oh no, there's loads of women. It's not all men tradies. There's loads of women involved. Most of them are a team of a man and a woman or a husband and wife team. And I'm like, fuck, I haven't seen a woman for months. Yeah, there's no point to this. It's just an observation I just made when I went, oh look, it's been full of men.
All the good-looking guys are here.
Yeah, all the handsome men. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you all, guys?
Good,
Very well, thanks.
Had a good week. Good.
So far.
Congratulations and well done. Let's start with a win. Who's had a win to share?
Yeah, I had a win. Went down to Melbourne and watched the MotoGP on the weekend. So that was
Hey.
nice. It's
Yeah,
soggy,
that is
but
quite
good.
nice. Yeah, you didn't get flooded in then?
No, managed to. It was pretty bloody wet driving down there, but
Yeah, I bet.
yeah,
It's looking quite grim now, isn't it?
yeah. No, got out in time.
Anyone else? I've got one. I'll share one.
I got a weekend in the Gold Coast.
That's pretty nice.
That's a win.
Nice.
We'll take
And the
that.
weather wasn't too bad, Craig.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I've been trading at a loss for about 5 months. Been investing in my business, spent more than's been coming in. And as of the day before yesterday, crossed into positive territory again.
Well done.
Thank fuck. I invested money in the business, and I've been watching it dwindle, thinking, fuck, I hope we pick up before it's all gone. Otherwise, I've got to go back to Michelle and go, I want to put more money in. You can imagine how that conversation goes, can't you?
Mm.
Anyway, I've crossed back into positive territory, so I'm feeling pleased. I feel a bit like, because you know all the stuff I say to you guys, right? Trust the process, invest in the stuff, the results kind of come. Well, I feel like a bit like I've done the same thing, and I've been going, come on, John, it's all right. Keep doing it. Keep doing the things, the results come eventually, and they're starting to come. So I'm feeling a bit like that's the working on me as well. I'm my own coach sometimes.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Hey, Andreas. Oh, you're still muted, mate. Unmute yourself so you can join in.
Yeah, I had a win, John.
Yeah, go on.
We had Master Plumbers Awards here in Queensland, and we ended up taking out an award. So that was a real good moment for myself. I wasn't expecting it, so it was nice.
Yeah, really, congratulations. Use it in your marketing.
Yeah.
You want to plaster that shit everywhere. I think it's quite reassuring for people,
Mm.
for customers,
It's
Anyone
a great
else?
outcome. Welcome, Simon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Simon, everybody. Simon's quite new,
Yeah.
brand new. Andreas is back from the wilderness, aren't you, mate? So we can welcome him back.
I had a bit of a win, John. I
Yeah.
also had a couple of days off last week, or Thursday, Friday, Monday. I suppose during that time, we left some blokes in charge, office admin stuff, people to sort of look after the show. And in that time, they priced one and started a job. So I suppose
Fuck yeah.
it's reassuring that it's only a little job, but it's a little job that leading into a big job. So get a bit of a start there. And I suppose the process worked without,
Well, that's where I went
constant
with it as soon
monitoring.
as you said it, right? The process worked.
That's I suppose the win. The job isn't a massive job that we're going to make a lot of money on. It's the fact that they took it on board and had some care factor and
Yeah, and the process supported them so they can make the decisions and not fuck it up. They didn't have to
that's
go, Lawson, what do I do? Hi, Barry.
yeah, that's right. So I'd take that as a win.
I'll take that as a win. That's a huge win, really, in terms of, because we're here to systematize our businesses as well as to grow and make money, right? So when a system works, you can build on that, can't you?
Mm.
You can go again, you can go harder, you can, build another system in a similar way. So that's great. I like those ones the best, if I'm honest. New clients and a bit of money in the bank is always nice, but a working system is very appealing.
Mm.
Anyone else? Barry's usually got one. Have you had a win, Barry? You're still muted.
Yeah. Just finishing off a job for that client that I was telling you about with the very hot women that work there.
I remember.
And,
I posted it on Facebook, I think, if you recall. I wasn't going to name you, Barry.
Yeah, well, yeah, just taking some light fittings down, and mind you, most of these fittings are light fittings are in the couple of $1,000 jobs. We've just moved a $10,000 light fitting to a different location, and it looks like we've sold it in a day that we put it up from the showroom. So, and they think
It's a nice big sale, a $10,000 light fitting. Fucking hell.
It's the
Chandelier
price
made
tag.
out of diamonds.
No, the price tag on it is $11,999. Yeah.
All
I
right.
think just because we've moved it in a different location where it's a little better, they believe they've sold it, and they're just waiting on that confirmation from the husband. We may even
He's
be
just going
asked
to do what he's told, isn't he?
Oh, of course. But yeah, then they're going to push us forward, obviously, to go and install it, and it's about a 6-person job to get it up and in and done and go from there. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll take that as a win. We like it a win like that.
yeah,
All right. Anyone else
Obviously.
want to share a win, or should I go to losses? Has anyone had a loss? I haven't really had any losses this morning.
no, I'll put my hand up for that one too. The boys, our bit of a callback sort of part is happening. Our percentage is going up a little bit, which is a little frustrating.
Do you know why?
One of them was a material issue, and the other one, it's just I think more of a, it's the end of the day, I'm just going to take the easy route. It didn't work.
Yeah. Because the question to ask when something like that goes wrong is it a system issue, right? Is there a problem with the system that could have been avoided? So human laziness, you can't really fix. You know, your checklist is your best thing, right? Your training and your checklists, and you kind of, you're expecting them to follow the fucking process and not take shortcuts, and holding them accountable if they do take shortcuts. And you educate people to not behave like lazy pricks by being pissed off, right? That's part of it.
I think this one was just, it's the end of the day, they were just being lazy. They just forgot to fucking sand a wall. So it's big fucking, yeah.
It's quite a big thing to forget.
Well, yeah, but I get it, but I don't get it. So yeah, one of the guys will go back there and fucking sand it and re-fucking paint it tomorrow. So
The same guy, right? Make the guy who forgot to do it go. Fuck it.
yeah, they are.
There needs to be some consequence if you fuck something up like that.
Yeah,
Even if it's just the embarrassment of having to sort it out yourself.
yeah.
I interviewed the founder of Fergus. Remember that a little while ago? And he said when somebody fucked up and forgot something, he made them go and fix it in their own time. That's illegal in Australia. That was in New Zealand. It's illegal here. It's probably illegal there. But he thought that was a good solution. You can't do that, right? Just so we're clear. I don't recommend it. Anyone else? Oh, hang on. What I was going to say with the materials, like, is there a change you can make to your process to check materials better? Should that be another step?
Oh, this is more of a supply and material issue that just the date they've told us it was going to arrive, and we'd loaded everything up and ready to go with it, and it didn't arrive. So then reassess where everyone's going, and yeah, just
Okay, so there's not really a systems lesson to learn. That's the question, right? Is there a systems lesson to learn? Can I make my system better and make these happen less often? Or is it just one of those things I can't guard against, right? That's where I like to go with something like this.
yeah, I certainly hear you. That's one we're talking about internally, just to make sure that if we are waiting for something like that, before we book it in, that we actually make sure we've got it. It's physically on either in the warehouse or in here at the office or ready to at where we're picking it up from. So, yeah.
Okay, so you've changed your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I think that's the right thing to do, you know, to go, oh, we should check next time, write that down and make that the new plan. Anyone else got a loss? Been a good week then. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to go to the questions because we did have some questions this week. So something Simon brought up. Simon, I'm so sorry. I didn't answer your question last time because I didn't fucking bother looking at the thing like an idiot. Simon's graciously just asked his question again and not gone, John, you're a spastic, even though we met this morning. It's nice of him. So have you come across the .au domain names? You know, we've all got a domain name .com.au. Well, now there's .au as well. So you can get smallfish.au or yourbusiness.au. And he says, people keep calling me, trying to sell me the one to mine. Should I buy it? Look, I think the answer is yes. You can buy it. You can collapse it onto your current one so that if anyone types yourbusiness.au, they come to your current website anyway, right? So the answer is, yeah, buy it. Because if someone else buys it and starts getting your traffic somehow, you'll be annoyed. And they're about $20. So fucking buy it.
Yeah, but
Buy it, get.
you wouldn't worry about changing everything straight away.
No, fuck no.
Don't change it.
Yeah, just buy it.
No, change nothing.
Just redirect it.
You can collapse them. Yeah, you redirect it or you can collapse them on so that they all point to the same place. I don't know if that's the right language. Obviously your web person's got to do it. But that's what we do. We've got a few collapsed onto mine.
Yeah, so just get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get it GoDaddy $10 or $15 a year. It's really a cheap investment. And you know, what will happen is that people will start to do exactly what John said, is that they'll register and then start to steal your traffic. So you've got to be careful.
Or they'll register it and then try and sell it to you for a shitload.
Yeah, or sell it back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the advice I got from our IT guy. I said, yeah, $20 a year, just buy it. And everything that comes there will direct onto you anyway.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Don't worry about dropping anything. Just buy it, have it sorted.
Yeah. What they're trying to do is make more web addresses available, right? Yeah. So if you want to, and it's particularly difficult for tradies, right? Because a lot of you want to have, you know, an area and plumbing or your trade name, and someone's already got something similar. So this is to make more available. So, you know, you're probably fine. Probably nothing will happen. Probably the best thing is if you've got your one where you are and somebody else has got one a bit similar in a different town or a different state, and it won't fucking matter. Right? I don't think it's a big issue. But often when I've gone searching for domain names, you know, they're often taken and you end up with something a bit shit, don't you? Like I've got small fish, right? But when I first tried, you can get small fish. Someone else had it, .com.au. I ended up with SFBC, right? Small Fish Business Coaching, which was shit. But, you know, if I could have got smallfish.au, I could have done my thing, independent of those people. They probably sold fish or something.
Oh, I've got that. Smallfish.eu. I bought that.
You've got that. There you are. And I bought it recently.
Let's do a deal.
Yeah. I tried to buy smallfish.com once and somebody was like, I want 20K. And I was like, I'll be fine with .com.au. So yeah, look, that's my thoughts on that, Simon. Either buy it for $20 or don't worry about it. I had another question as well. Andreas, you had a question, didn't you? Andreas is hiring admin. In fact, Andreas has just started working with Office Shed, which Simon's working with as well. So you can compare notes. Hang on, let me read it. You'd like to learn how to use the admin service better. You called some strata managers. They told you to send company details. Is it better to send them something more professional than an email? You're not a good writer for things like that. No, you're not. This is Andreas, everybody.
Andreas.
If you unmute, you can say hi, Andreas. I think if you just hold your space bar down, you can talk and we'll all hear you. So right now we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
So everybody, hi, Andreas.
Okay.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
Andreas is
Good,
from
mate.
Greece, and English is his
Andreas.
second language, and he's not very confident writing in English. So he's feeling a bit awkward about contacting strata managers and then being told to send me something nice, explaining what you do, right? He's a painter,
Yeah.
painting contractor.
Yeah, the painting. I
So-
own a painting company, so yeah.
Well, I've got two thoughts, right? One thought is Office Shed are helpful like that. They'll help you. And another thought is I'll help you as well, right? Book a 20 with me and we'll write something together. And then you can get either Office Shed to write it up or you can get your marketing company to write it up. Right. And
Okay.
if yeah, and I do see the value in sending them something. You know, your website is your best place for that. You don't have one yet, do you? So when
No, I
you've got a
don't.
website, right, you just go, here's a link to my website and go for your life, right? Never mind, here's a brochure that you want. You could just write a thing that says, this is what we do. We're clear what you do, right? You're a painting contractor, you specialize in 4 and 5 story apartment blocks. You're very good at managing around tenants and common areas and safety and that kind of access, right? So we just expand on that and send them something like that.
Okay. And
I'll
how,
tell you what-
because look, the case now is shown that it's rare to talk them. Usually you go to the messages, so they give you an email and they tell you, send me your company details. That's because if you can contact them, then it's easier because you can try contact them and you know,
Yeah.
try to be close to them. Now you just send an email and just wait.
Yeah, look, I'm
It's
hearing you, and it's a funny thing, right? Because you know they say send me some details or send me a brochure or some information on your business, right? And what they really mean is fuck off,
Yeah, that's it.
right? And then
That's
you
it.
send them your brochure. No one reads it, right? No one goes, oh, how interesting, a brochure from the guy, you know. And I'll have a little read of that, and then when you call, that's right, I saw your brochure and I had a good read, and we've just been thinking of you, right? So that it's annoying and kind of pointless, but you've sort of got to, right? So I wouldn't spend money or time making a beautiful thing, right? I would write a little piece that you send, that you go, this is what we do, this is why we're good, you know, we're punctual, we're tidy, we don't make a mess, we're experienced painters, you know, we'll get you a quote quickly and that kind of thing, and then just send it and know that they probably didn't bother reading it. Think about it, when you get an email from somebody who you spoke to, you don't read it, do you? You know, I get them all every day, right? Hi, John. You know, I bumped into you in the street the other week and blah, blah, something. And I just think, see, gone.
That's exactly right. But what about if I use the admin every 2 weeks to give them a phone call and blah blah, how are you, this,
Yeah,
that?
that's right. Then they remember, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do it, like you say. They haven't read it, but you have to keep going. And for all of you who call strata managers and that sort of business, the kind of bullshit you're stuck with, I'm afraid. You've got to have something to send them so that you can say, yeah, I already sent you something.
Right.
And then you can ring them again and you go, have you got any jobs that I can quote on, right? What jobs have you got coming up? That kind of thing. So that's the best answer I can give, I think. Go and watch your marketing groundwork video, which is quite a short video, but that's about figuring out what you do, who you do it for, and why you're good, and articulating that. So do some homework, and then book a 20 with me, and I'll help you write something. And then Office Shed can make it look pretty, because I'm not very good at that, but I'm good at the writing. There you go,
Yeah.
a little plan. Yeah, absolutely.
Just on a side note there, John, Andreas, have you tried using Grammarly for
No.
helping you write with your English? It just helps you change the words about if it's, and then with the, you know,
It's very good, actually, yeah.
Look, I'm okay in the writing, but the problem is it does look like a professional. But somebody looks like a common trade person that you know, a painter that well.
Yeah, but that's what it will help you do. It will help you kind of rewrite it, or it will help you change it about so it sounds a wee bit more professional if that's what the part you're struggling with, and especially English being your second language. So
yeah, no, I agree. Do use Grammarly. Emily uses Grammarly. A lot of our content goes out. I write some of it and then I send it to Emily and she kind of makes the different bits. And she uses Grammarly to make sure it's right. When she was a younger teenager, I told her she'd spelled something wrong. And do you know what she said? Doesn't matter, Dad. Children, eh? All right, who else has a question or would like to help with something? I mean, I can talk. I've got stuff to tell you if you don't want, but part of what I want to encourage you to do is to come here today a bit prepared with, this is what I'm working on, and this is what I need from you to help me move forward, right? So think that. Let me ask you a different question in a different way. What's your main focus at the moment? What are you trying to work on to improve your business? So think about that. What's your focus right now? And then think, what do I need? What can John do right now? Or what can David do right now to help me push it forward a bit? What advice can I give?
I've got maybe a question I could put out to the group there for, the guys that have got employees, that predominantly do, if you're doing outside work and the weather's shit, day in, day out, right? What do you do? Do you end up, obviously there's unpaid leave, there's taking a day off without pay, how do you deal with it?
Anybody got an answer? I mean, I've got some comments. It's very difficult, right? There's no right answer.
I think who's I can't remember the landscapers you've got up in Byron.
Nick.
Nick and his partner. Isn't there something in the landscaping general working conditions that they've got, typically they're outside, something in their EBA or their fair work agreement or whatever it is that they've got something in line for that?
Yeah, they do. They do. They have it's in the award. That was the word you were looking for. I was struggling with it too. In the award, I think they have a fortnightly cycle where they still pay weekly, but if you got a day off on Tuesday because it was raining, they can get you to work another Saturday and not a double time and kind of make up for it. So you could take that approach. You could say, because if they agree, it's fine, right? If you go to them and say, look, we're having a lot of rainy days, these are the options, right? You can either have a day off without pay, or I'll wear this many days on full pay, whatever it is, 1 or 2 or something. But if it goes a bit longer, I can't wear it. You're going to have leave without pay or use your holidays, or we can do this. You can take a day off now and work a Saturday and make up for it. It's not in the award, so I'll only do it if you agree. But if you go to your team and they agree, everyone's sweet, right? The rules are fine. If they said, yeah, that's fine, we're all happy with it. I'm pretty sure that's allowed. So yeah, thank you, Barry, because that was a good point that I hadn't remembered. That makes sense, Craig?
Yeah, Craig, there's some conditions on your apprentices as well. So you've got to be careful that you meet their requirements as well as the award requirements. And that award document should be the one that you go to. That'll give you flexibility. And as John said, that you can offer them to take leave, but you just got to be very careful when there's certain legal requirements. And if the person's employed full time, there is a requirement for you to pay them for that full time, whether they're working or not, unfortunately. So, I guess with an apprentice, you can get them to do, some of their study or their exams or their tests or, maintenance on equipment, those sorts of things back in the shed.
Generally speaking, you've still got to pay them, right? Unless they agree.
Yeah. I
think that's the rules, right? Unless they agree to do something else, you've got to pay.
Yeah, and get it in writing. Verbal is just it's an exposure for you. So just a simple note, get them to send you an email or sign a bit of paper where you've got it on that, that they agree to vary their condition. So under the award, there's this situation of where you can do many different things as long as they're not disadvantaged. So if they're financially disadvantaged or benefit disadvantaged, then that can have a significant impact on whether you're meeting your requirements or not, and that's a risk to the business then.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Barry, can I share this?
Yeah.
Okay. Barry just sent me this.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you sharing? You just sent it me.
Yeah.
So back to Andreas briefly, right? This is Barry's brochure, I suppose, statement of services. So he's had this built. Who built this for you, Barry?
The VA I had, my original VA has actually made that one up for me.
Okay, so Andreas, you could probably get Office Shed to build this for you. Make it look
Okay.
pretty like this.
Yep. Yeah,
So there you
beautiful.
go, right? 6 pages about us. I think Barry and I have spent time on this together, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think we went through that, like our values and so forth.
Yeah, our
like
vision
that,
and
so-
our values and the services we provide and some contractors we work with, some of our clients, contact details. So there you go. If with Barry's permission, I'm happy to send you this. Barry?
That's beautiful,
you very
mate.
much.
That's really good. Yeah.
I'll send it. I don't have an at everybody, so I'll add it. I'll say at to you guys. Who have got? Who'd like
Thank
to
you.
see it? Grace would like to see it. Anyone else want a copy?
Yeah, I'll have a copy, please.
Who's
Simon.
that?
Simon, yep.
Yeah, so what we did that, we've got one for, say, our strata and property managers, one's for mum and dads, and I can't remember the last one that we had. They're all very similar.
Yeah, you can. Oh, Simon, what's your email?
Simon at ozplumbingandgas.com.au.
Or just AU.
Yeah, or just AU.
Shortly.
Sure.
Anyone else want it? I've got it for Andreas and Simon. Anybody else want
Thanks,
it?
Barry.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
David?
Looks great. Well done.
Oh, look, honestly, I had the input at the start on sort of what we were looking at, and look, the team took care of it. Like what Lawson was saying before, you delegated it to a team, had something in place for it, and away they went.
That's the joy of having a good team, isn't it?
Yeah. Jamie, my new VA, my Filipino VA, she's done some minor adjusting to it over some time, but typically that was it.
Very nice.
Good. It's good.
All right, I have a couple of things. November the 7th, are you all coming?
Yes.
Are you bringing another member of your team? Remember I spoke about this. So one thing I'd like to ask you to do is to consider who else on your team and your broader team, right? They don't necessarily have to be employed by you, but if they're important to the working of your business, should you be bringing them, asking them to come along? I don't want to force you to, right? This is an invitation to engage your broader team with mine and my program, and not just be, I see John on Thursdays, but to use the whole thing we've got, right? So it's not just for you, it's for anybody you think might benefit in your team, as are these calls.
What was the subject for that one, John?
But there are two. One of them is managing yourself.
Yep.
And I've done managing yourself before, so I'm not going to just reprise the same shit. I'm going to talk about some different things. So I'm going to talk about the managing yourself I did before was the practical stuff, clearing your diary and making time for this work and that kind of practical, pragmatic shit. This is about getting over yourself a bit and dealing with your bullshit blockages that stop you doing the right stuff. So it's a bit of psychology and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to help you understand a bit about what goes on in with you when you're getting in your own way, which we all do, right? And I've got a psychologist partner who studied this, and so I'm lifting a lot of things from her. So it should help you do the things I told you should be doing back in May. That's one of them. And the other one's exit plan. It's thinking about what your options are if you're going to leave or if you're going to sell, right? I think partly we're all here because ultimately you're putting the investment and energy in now to build a business you can sell down the track. So I'm going to talk through what the options are when it comes time to do that. I'm just going through it with somebody. I'm going through it with myself in New Zealand as well. So I've got some kind of direct first-hand experience of it too. Mm-hmm. So they're the main ones. I'm going to talk a bit about how to use the program. That's partly for the new people, but I'm changing things a bit. So I'm going to sort of steer you to use this coaching program differently. And Stephanie's going to come as a guest and talk a bit more about Instagram and how to use that as part of your marketing. And then we're going to look back and look forward, you know, what's gone well for you and what's your plan for the next quarter, right? So it's an important reset, I think. I do it with my coach, and we're doing it in about 3 weeks. You know, what's your focus going to be for the next 3 months? What should you be spending your energy on outside, you know, the day-to-day doing the work? Okay, so that was that. Also, would you invite somebody for me, a guest? I'd love you to bring or invite some, you know, a potential customer of mine. So I'm doing this with my coach. I can bring a guest. Do you want to come and invite them so that they can see what we do and maybe buy my thing? So that's a favor. Would you refer somebody and invite them to come? If you think about somebody, that would be lovely for me. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. I've got one more quick. I've got the local engage thing. Do you remember this from last week? I've progressed a bit. Isaac has just done it, I think. So I'm going to try and see if I can find it where Isaac is. I'm going to show you. Do you remember the local engage? And
Yep.
Yeah.
Name. Sometimes I'm a bit retarded, and I am sorry. Instant upload. It's called local engage, but when you put it in on your phone or in LastPass, it calls itself something else, which is really fucking helpful. Okay, you can watch me be a spastic. So here's a testimonial Martin did. You didn't really do it, Martin. I did it. I know. Did you do that one today? Thanks. Okay, right. So this is good. This might
Yeah,
go on Martin.
I done one this morning.
Thanks, mate. That's brilliant. Okay, so last week I did this for Martin, right? I went through this and I did a, you know, look, when Martin hired me, he said, oh, it shouldn't be this stressful. And I don't know enough about how to run a business. And we worked on these things and we did it on Zoom and video. And the results were he made more money and grew the business and did more stuff, right? And then the AI wrote a testimonial, which I don't know where the fuck that is. So I saw it earlier. It might be there. No, that obviously isn't it, is it? It went somewhere. I fucking did this 5 minutes ago. Okay, I'm sorry I'm not being as smart as I thought I was.
Wasn't there a big testimonial?
Yeah, well, I was going to show you the bit I did first because it shows you a page on my website.
The big blue, light blue button, the third one along.
Hang on. I don't think that's it. You have to tick that to make it, I think. I was going to show you what I wrote, and that's what I wrote, but then I was going to show you the thing. Maybe it's that. No, that's not it.
The testimonial, yeah, that one at the top.
Let's look at Martin's. Okay, that's what it wrote.
Pretty
It's
much,
really annoying,
just
right?
changed a couple of little things, but it basically writes it for you.
Basically writes it for you, and then you can see what it's written, and then you can say it to camera, right? I have an idea it's there. No, that's not it. I pressed something this morning, and it was great. It took me to the page on my website where the thing is.
What about on the timeline there, John? Would it show up this morning? Or?
No.
Oh.
I'm sorry, guys. Thought I had it. I pressed something. Anyway, it was good.
You look like me trying to navigate Simpro, mate.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I'm less smart than I sometimes think. And maybe it's there. Oh, there we go. No, that's it. That's the bit you've done already. I don't want to bin it, do I? I want to publish it. Right, I'm so sorry. I was going to show you something really clever, because if I post it right, it goes to my website and then you can see it. That's just the content that I would get. Dave, let me do that. Okay, well, that's great. It's still not published. Fuck's sake. I'm sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. I don't know how to do this. WordPress trigger worked. Something happened, didn't it? Let me just check with Lindsay, see if she can show me, because she's quite clever.
Just about to say we need a few more females on this group chat, John.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this morning I was able to click something on here and show a page on my website with the bullshit that I wrote. Okay, so we worked with Martin and it was great and you should do this. And then I'm hoping that I can click something and show you the bit with Martin's video on it with him going, oh, I worked with John for a bit and this happened, right? As an addition to that. So you guys can add photos of a job. And this is encouraging. No, it's not. It's the same thing, isn't it? No, I'm so sorry, guys. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Let me get better instructions for next time. All right, look, I'm a bit embarrassed now. I'm so sorry. Let me go back from my position of trying to show you something cool and admit I don't really know what I'm talking about. And I can't really drive the technology. Somewhere in there, oh, hang on, live site. No, that's not it. Okay, somewhere in there, you can look on your website and there's a page with the nice little story and a little map. And I can have Martin saying, oh, I started working with John, and even though he's a POM, I don't mind, all that kind of stuff, right? So I'll keep working on it. My idea is that if I could prove the concept with this idiot driving it, or Lindsay driving it for me, then you guys can drive it for you, right? And its intention, as I said before, is it's for trades, right? Their main focus is the trades market. And the idea is you can quickly put a testimonial up, ask the customer. So all I did on my phone, show you this. What I did on my phone was go, here you go, Martin. Right, where am I? There. Right, I go, press that one, build trust. And it says testimonial. Send request, and I send that request to Martin. I won't text it to him again, but I sent that to Martin. It sends a link to Martin. He clicks the link and he can do the testimonial, right? It's got the stuff the AI wrote, and it says if you want to shoot a video, you can shoot a video now, and he can record himself. He can read it like a teleprompter and just shoot the video. So then there's a video of Martin going, oh yeah, John's actually all right. Everything that's written here is true. That kind of thing. So it's pretty cool, right? And then you can share it to all your socials. And what they're telling me is, it's nice to get real life testimonials up there easily, right? That's great. But what they're telling me is, it's really good for your SEO and for your kind of online presence, because you've got another page with a link back to your website with a proper testimonial on. and it's posting them on the map as well on Google Maps. Right, so they're still working on some of the integrations, and obviously it's a bit difficult for some people to drive. Right, so let's just jump over my embarrassment and say, what are you working on? Are you clear what you're working on? Are you clear what the right thing is for you to be working on? Right, and I think, you know, the right thing for you to be working on is, it's usually either what's going to make money. Lindsay might join the call. She says, 1 sec. It's exciting, isn't it? Right. So either it's what's going to make money, or it's what's going to grow capacity for you. So I met with Andreas the other day, right? And he's after capacity. And I met with Simon and he's after capacity, right? We both need more tradies. So for quite a lot of you, it's more tradies, isn't it? It's more tradespeople will help a lot because the business is there. It wasn't quite so much for you, Martin, was it? You got the more tradies. So you need to smash the marketing harder.
Well,
to keep them
I
busy.
did, and then I've just lost another one.
Are you fucking kidding?
A key member. So it's just constant.
It's difficult, isn't it? And you put all this effort into having a good culture, right? And you know, people like working for you, but they still go.
Yeah. So
Where do you
my
go?
kind
Do you
of
go off to
focus
work
at
on
the
the
moment
mines?
has a little, still kind of is on bringing people in, and just it feels like looking after all the new guys who have came in, and just it just feels like there's a lot of people management at the moment.
Well, there is, and you've got a reasonable sized team. I mean, if people keep leaving, you know, we've got to go and ask, is there something going on?
Yeah.
Do you know why they're leaving? Are they leaving because?
Well, this one's left for $52 an hour to be a supervisor somewhere. So
Hard to blame him.
it's a
It's good
multinational
money.
company, well, a massive company that do maintenance and stuff. So
All right. Lindsay sent
Martin,
me a link.
there's one strategy for everyone, is it's worthwhile developing what's known as an exit interview. So when someone leaves the business, you just have a simple set of questions that you can ask in about 10 or 15 minutes about why they're leaving. If you're worried that they don't want to do that face-to-face, you could put it in SurveyMonkey or Google Forms or something like that, or you could just give them a form to write the answers onto, print it out. But just think about the information that you need to know about why they're leaving. So if he's going to a better job, you don't have much option there. And once a person decides to go, they're going to go, you don't want to get into that snowball effect of just offering them more money or more flexibility, because it'll every 6 months they'll be coming to you, I've got another job offer, and they want another $5 an hour or whatever it may be. So an exit interview does give you some opportunity, and if it's done through a survey or something like that, they'll probably tend to write down the real reason if they don't have to do it face to face with you as well. So, if we ask our people why, because if there's a problem, could be one of the team, it could be, our expectation of them, it could be we're not paying, the market value, then we can fix it, or at least try to fix it.
Sometimes we can fix it.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. But if we don't know, then we don't have that opportunity. So, all the big corporates do it, and the reason they do it is there is good value for it. And keep it short, sharp, and simple. Don't try to have 20 questions or anything like that. Just 3 or 4 questions that are hard hitting that will help you drive your team better.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, thanks for that, David. I like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just following what you said about the 52 an hour as well. I think we're in a market now where that's out there a bit, right? And the bigger companies are offering that kind of money to get the talent, because everybody needs the talent, and they've got contracts to fulfill or expansion plans to do, right? Because there's work out there. So there's definitely upward pressure on wages, right? Inflation's happening. There's a shortage of labor. There's upward pressure on wages. We should all consider this when it comes to what do we pay. If we don't look at it, we'll get these kinds of surprises. saw an ad that paid 52 an hour. I couldn't help myself, you know, because it's a legitimate thing to do, right? If you're a person and you've got a job and there's jobs that pay better out there, it's legitimate to think whether you might want one. You might hate it, right? You might hate going into town and working on a big building site and being a supervisor and all that extra responsibility. Most people do, but equally, all the extra money is useful too. So, you know, one defense is you can't really defend on it. One thing you can do is talk to them all about what the situation is and kind of remind them how nice it is here. You know, he's given up a 9-day fortnight. He's given up flexibility and a nice, easy life. He's probably got a commute now. Like you can do that, right? You can, it's too late once he's taken a job because he's wedded to the 52. But if you go back to them and say, right, this is the situation. I want to remind you why it's nice here and what happens if you go. You go to the mines, there's this. If you go to the city, there's this. That's why they pay better because it's shit. Lindsay keeps pinging me things.
The other thing in line with that, John, is the fact that sooner or later the bubble will burst. And at the moment, the corporates have skill shortages, so they tend to offer more money because they've got more margin in their proposals and projects. What's going to happen in a few months' time into next year is that, you know, the quietly quitting will have its effect. There'll be more people around, there'll be more tourists coming, so the labour market will loosen up a little bit. And all of a sudden, that project finishes, they're showing the door and they're back out into the market again, trying to find a job. I've got a mutual friend of both John's and myself. He's got a cabinet making business, and he's got one of his guys, installers, left to go to the Tweed Hospital. You know, it's a big new hospital they're building. They're paying him $65 an hour. He just has to turn up in the morning, do his job, walk out the door. It's guaranteed. But of course, when that project's finished, he's back on the market again. He won't have any work. So, you know, it's always good to sow the seed about the fact that, you know, they're here, they've got a good job, you're supporting them. You know, look at the other side. It may look greener in the short term, but actually will it provide that security for their family to pay the mortgage in 12 months' time? And, you know, just quiet little comments about that, you know, about little stories that you might hear might make them go, oh, okay, maybe I'm better here than somewhere else.
I'm tempted to say I would be upfront about it and pull a meeting and buy them some beer and say, you know, let's talk about whatever the name is of the guy who's gone, because they'll all know, right? They'll all know that he's gone to a high-paid job in town with a big ticket number on his hourly rate.
Yeah.
So you should probably confront it and say, look, I want to talk to you what's happening. You might all be fielding offers like this. You know, you're probably all looking at him going, 52 an hour, I could have that. That'd be nice. Buy another boat. You know, all the nice things that you can do with the extra money. And compare the two. Do you know, working for Alchemos, working for a big company at 52 an hour, you know, and you could talk about the commute and the other things and say, look, you know, just understand this is where we're at. Let me point out how nice it is here.
And it may be 52 an hour, but it's probably a salaried position. So, you know, they might expect him to work 10 hours for that, you know, or however long it takes, and he may not then get the top up. There's a whole heap of issues there. They'll always tell, it's like a gambler. The gambler always tells you their wins, but they never tell you how much they lose. And the same when people change jobs.
Yeah, I agree. He might be telling you 52 an hour. It might be no overtime. You know, it's probably, if you have tolls in Perth, you know, it's probably extra fuel every day and a commute. It's probably parking in the city. All that shit comes in. You don't know. All right, look, so I think the gist is try and head it off at the pass and remind everybody why it's nice here, right? I think that's best you can do. Consider your pay levels, because one way is to go, all right, perhaps I'll prop the pay up a bit, you know, because if the gap's big enough, people will go, but if the gap's a bit smaller, you know, you're not so keen to take on the extra shit, are you?
Yeah.
Right. I've got your testimonial. Lindsay can't find the video. So look, pleasingly, Lindsay can't find anything either. So I'm not as much of a spastic as I think. It's not there. So this is the thing that the AI wrote, right? That we set up. Okay, and I don't know quite. So this is a page on my website that it's automatically generated, right? Which is good for SEO. This is the testimonial that Martin's made. And you can click here and you can share it to your socials. I think I can share it to my socials, right? I'll send it on WhatsApp. I don't need to, let me do Facebook. Okay, so it's not quite ready yet, some of this stuff. Right, and this is the same thing. So we don't know where the video is. Look, Lindsay's going to ask. I see it here, but no video. So some of it's still in development, but I think this is great because it took me 3 minutes. Look at that. I can share it to my Facebook. You know, look, Martin gave me a testimonial, right? Which maybe I'll do. Martin gave me a testimonial, something, you know, you should buy the business coaching. So it does work, sort of. Clearly, I have work to do before I'm showing you something that's slick enough for you to want to spend money on. But I think this is quite groundbreaking and exciting for you guys, for me too. All right, back to my theme, right? Have you got your thing you're working on? And what do you need from me today? Dan, welcome. Have you all got a thing you're working on? Put your hand up if you've got a thing you're working on. And give me a thumbs down if you're not sure what you should be working on. Right. Well, I mean, look, do you want to discuss it or do you want to book a 20, Barry?
Yeah, I want to. I need to. Just got to. I got to get the ship that I'm doing done to free up my time.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if I can remember what I know about your situation, you probably need another tradie.
Yeah. Well, I need to finish roughing in this friggin' house that we're doing.
Okay. Yeah. You need to finish roughing in your house, then you need to go and hire another tradie. You know,
Yeah.
So for a whole bunch of you, you need to get advertising and finding tradespeople. So you've got capacity to go and win the work. Because I have a feeling that for a lot of you, winning some more work is going to be reasonably easy, right? You're going to make some phone calls, meet some people. There's demand out there. Someone's going to go, yeah, help. And you're going to reasonably quickly be able to generate extra work, right? That's my sense of it for most of you. There's a lot of work out there. There's stuff going on. So if you can get the labor, I would grab it. I would grab the labor and take the risk that you've got them on, on the books, not making you much money for a bit. And then I would go and get the work. That's my sense of where the market's at for you right now.
Yeah.
And that's an investment in your business, right? Do you agree?
Definitely.
It's a funny situation for trades at the moment, right? Everyone's got a job, can't find good people, all that. So I think that's where the focus should be for you.
Yeah.
Anybody got a different opinion or a different question or something you want? What do you want? Can't say blowjob. No? Shall I finish up the call? Does anybody want anything before we go?
Oh, John, I've got one comment. Anyone who put on an apprentice under that $28,000, the 50% wage subsidy over the last 12 months, I don't have all the details, but it appears that they have decided to carry on a percentage of the wage subsidy past the first 12 months.
Yeah.
And I think it's 10% or something and then 5%. Barry, are you aware of that?
Yeah, so it's ends up being about 1,500 a quarter for your tradespeople, if they're earning over the subsidy amount. But I was talking to one of my trainers yesterday, and they believe there's new funding coming out, apparently coming out mid next month, in some way, shape, or form. They don't know all the details as yet, but yeah, there's that is supposed to be coming out in mid-November.
Yeah,
So we should hold fire. Is that what you're saying?
So if it's a full-time employee, you've got 3 months to sign them. So you don't need to hold back right now. Just put them on casual for a couple of months, just to test how they go before you sign them onto the traineeship. And my understanding is that in the next budget, they're looking at releasing that extended wage subsidy again in some way, shape, or form, which is probably what you're talking about, Barry. So you don't necessarily have to hold back putting the person on. You put them on full time. You've got 3 months to sign them into a traineeship. If you put them on casually, you've got 12 months to do it. So that just gives you some options moving forward, and maybe completing a traineeship or apprenticeship for some of your labourers could be a carrot to keep them and to get them.
Thanks, David. Anybody thinking of getting apprentices on? I feel a bit like that's the long-term solution to the skills shortage, isn't it? That people have to bite the bullet a bit and have the apprentices, and it's kind of, I almost said your responsibility. It's kind of a giving back thing you have to do, isn't it?
Mm. But also, you end up with someone who's comes through and learns the way doing things the way you want it done as well. So
yeah,
there is an advantage to it, and
and if you're a good employee, some of them stick around.
But it goes really fast.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's easy to view them as a pain in the arse or not very useful, or right, which is, I used to say my fee was less than an apprentice cost, and they're useless. Right? I used to think that was quite funny. So it's easy to see them like that and think of them as a burden, but I don't think they are. Right? I think it's part of your contribution to the industry. Someone taught you, and it's part of how we all feed the labour pool.
I've got 2 mature age apprentices.
Yeah.
So you get a lot more out of them. They've obviously got life experience, and so you can get a lot more out of them.
Yeah, you just can't send them out on your own, can you? They have to be a company, don't they?
Yeah, well, they can do easy jobs on their own, so we send them doing that.
Can they? Are they allowed?
Well, probably technically
it's
not,
appropriate supervision. So, if they're changing a tap washer or something like that, for example, they can do that unsupervised. You're on the end of the phone. If they've got a problem, they can give you a call. If they're putting in a hot water service or something like that, which is probably more major, I'm not sure. Sorry, Martin, my ignorance. But then you'd want a tradie there to supervise them to make sure they're doing the right thing. But if they're a 3rd or 4th year apprentice, then they're probably capable of doing all of these things with minimal supervision. But you have to have a process in place, and you have to be able to demonstrate that if required.
Safety is the main issue, right?
Yeah, and damage.
Apprentice
damage.
Died welding,
The beauty of a traineeship or apprentice, particularly a mature age one, is that the chances are you're going to have them for 4 years. Is that the length of a common apprenticeship? So it's going to reduce your staff turnover, and just like Toby said, you can skill them up in the right values, the right attitude, the customer service aspect of it, all of those sorts of things, professionalism, painting the wall that they missed, Barry, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, David. That's good. Any more questions? 3, 2, 1. Thanks for being here, everyone. See you next week. Let's keep pushing.
Cheers. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.